Hi, everybody. This is Mrs. Pearson, your elementary ELL teacher. Today, we're going to focus on the vocabulary pictures for Chapter 5, and these are words 5 to 8. So our book is Bud Not Buddy, and for this lesson, we're going to focus on turn and talk. That means I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to think about your answer. You're going to pair up with a partner at home, or you can be my virtual partner. And then you're going to share out your answer in a complete sentence or sentences. So for this lesson, you will need a pencil. And whenever you see this pencil, that means get ready to write your vocabulary word. And you will need a piece of paper or a journal page. And you're going to divide the paper into 3 equal parts or thirds, 1, 2, 3. And you can draw 2 lines like I show here. And then you're going to write numbers 5 to 8. So for each number, you're going to write the targeted vocabulary word or words. And then in the second column, I want you to write a synonym. And what is a synonym? A synonym is a word that means the same or similar. For example, combine is a synonym for mix. If you don't catch this a synonym and you can't think of one, that's okay. You can write the word again, or you can write a short definition of the word. And then in the third column, I want you to draw a quick picture or sketch. It doesn't have to be super fancy, just a quick picture. And this will help you remember the vocabulary words. So let's get started. If at any time I'm going too fast, push pause, get caught up, and then push play when you're ready to join us. So our learning target, I can use pictures and context clues to help me understand important words from Chapter 5 of Bud Not Buddy. Our second learning target, I can have a conversation with the class or a partner about the vocabulary words and pictures. Success criteria, that means how will you know you're successful at reaching these 2 learning targets? Well, here are our steps for success. Don't worry, we're going to do them together. And I guarantee that if you focus on each one with me and follow my example, you will get better by the end of the lesson. I will, number 1, look closely at each pair of pictures. 2, say what you notice about each picture. How are they the same or similar? 3, read each word and its definition. And 4, write each word a synonym or short definition and draw a quick sketch. For each pair of pictures, I'm going to ask you the same questions. What do you notice or see? And you're going to answer out loud, I notice, and then finish your thinking. And I'm also going to ask you, how are they all the same or similar? And I would say they both. You're going to tell me how the pictures are similar or the same. Then you may opt to agree with me and say, I agree with you, Mrs. Pearson, because, and tell me why, or I disagree with you and tell me why. I disagree with you because. So here's our first picture. What do you notice or see? So say, I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice an old pair of sneakers or shoes and a torn t-shirt. In the second picture, I notice a very old, tattered looking hat. So how are these pictures the same or similar? Why do you think I chose these 2 pictures to represent the vocabulary word? They both show raggedy. The root word is ragged, R-A-G-G-E-D-Y, raggedy. So right for number 5, raggedy. If I go too fast again, push pause. And what does raggedy mean? It's an adjective. It describes a noun. It means torn or worn out, wearing tattered or torn or ripped clothing, raggedy. A synonym or a shorter definition for raggedy could be torn or worn out. So you could choose to write one of those words in your second column. And then here is the quote. I knew a nervous-looking, stung-up kid with blood dripping from a fish head bite and carrying an old raggedy suitcase didn't look like he belonged around here. Bud. All right, so make sure you write raggedy, write the synonym, and if you have time, you can draw a quick sketch, or you can do that at the end of our lesson. Next group of pictures, what do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice someone kneeling down. In the second picture, I notice animals down low to the ground. So why do you think I chose these two pictures? How are they the same or similar? They both, well, they both show crouching, crouching. The root word is crouch, C-R-O-U-C-H, crouching, I-N-G, crouching. It means bent down, crawling near the ground, crouching. A synonym could be bent down, just like the pictures show. And here's the quote. I had to be real careful, even if it was the middle of the night, even if I was crouching down, sneaking along the street like Pretty Boy Floyd. And remember, he compares himself to Pretty Boy Floyd and says he's crouching or sneaking along the street like Pretty Boy Floyd, and that is a simile. He's comparing his sneaking around like Pretty Boy Floyd, and he uses the word like. All right, number 7. What do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice it looks like the cartoon is very clumsy with the ball and dropped it, and he's going after it. In the second picture, I notice the student looks kind of clumsy and is dropping things. So how are these pictures the same or similar? Why do you think I chose these two pictures? What do they have in common? They both, well, they both show fumbling. Fumbling. The root word is fumble, F-U-M-B-L, and then they took off the E and they put I-N-G. Fumbling. F-U-M-B-L-I-N-G. Fumbling. What does fumbling mean? It's a verb, it's an action, doing or handling something clumsily. And I said the word clumsy, didn't I? So clumsy is a synonym. Clumsily is a synonym for fumbling. Clumsily, C-L-U-M-S-I-L-Y. So in the first column, write fumbling. In the second column, you could write clumsily. And here's our quote. I could tell right away that someone had been fumbling through my things, Bud. If I go too fast, make sure you push pause and then push play when you're ready to join me. Here's our last word, 8. What do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice a man looks very insistent or very intent. He wants his way so much so that he slams his hand down. In the second picture, it looks like the woman is talking to the man and really wants to convince him of something. So how are these pictures the same or similar? They both show, well, they both show insisted. Insist is the root word, insisted. I-N-S-I-S-T-E-D, insisted. Insisted is a verb, it's an action. Demanded forcefully to have something, persist in doing something. Insisted. And a synonym or a word that means the same could be demanded. Demanded. The root word is demand, and the whole word is demanded. Insisted means demanded forcefully to have something, persist in doing something. Mama used to tell me that hard-headed man insisted, mind you, that I wear that horrible hat. Bud. All right, time to check your work for chapter 5, words 5 to 8. Number 5, raggedy. Adjective, torn out or worn out, wearing tattered and torn or ripped up clothing, raggedy. 6, crouching, bent down, crawling near the ground. 7, fumbling, doing or handling something clumsily, fumbling. 8, insisted, demanded forcefully to have something, persist in doing something, insisted. So if you need to, push pause here to check and write all of your words 5 to 8, because I want the word, the synonym or a short definition, and then a quick sketch. So at the top of your paper, I'm going to remind you your learning target. I can use pictures and context clues to help me understand important words from chapter 5 of the book, Bud Not Buddy. How would you reflect on your learning and reaching the learning target today? Would it be a 4? I could teach this lesson. I easily said what I noticed about each pair of pictures and wrote each word, including a synonym and a picture or a sketch. Or would you give yourself a 3? I was able to say what I noticed about most of the picture pairs and wrote most of the words. Or would you give yourself a 2? I was able to say what I noticed about some of the picture pairs and wrote some of the words. Or 1, I was not able to say what I noticed about any of the picture pairs and I did not write the words. So how do you think you did on a scale of 4, 3, 2, or 1? Thank you, everybody, for doing the second part of our vocabulary lesson for Chapter 5 today. Have a great day.